that, it is my distinct honor to introduce the man himself, the next President of the United States of America, Joe Biden.
Hello, Minnesota! These guys are not very polite, but they're like Trump. But look, they're going to be okay. We're going to take care of them as well. We need to come together. Now look, there's a reason they don't want to hear me, because they know the president doesn't say anything. So they're not used to not hearing anything. But I know it's hard, folks. But he didn't tell anybody. He didn't even tell those folks. He didn't tell anybody. This isn't a political statement like those ugly folks over there beeping the horns. This isn't a political statement like those ugly folks over there beeping the horns. We need a president who'll bring us together, not pull us apart. And hark your horn if you want America to be united again.
Hello everyone. So here is our double-speaking, dog-faced pony soldier of a wannabe president, speaking his own hypocritical nonsense, showing a great way to bring people together by calling them, quote, those ugly folks. Same old Biden double talk BS, 47 years of it. I think we all know by now that this man doesn't mean anything he says. Originally, when we knew he was running for president, we thought maybe he wasn't going to be quite so bad. But this man, just like any traditional politician, has many skeletons in his closet and really has his own issues on top of that. Why he didn't go out and expand on his life beyond what he was doing there. So now we kind of know. Biden doesn't have much of a chance to win the election. And the reason why we say that is Biden was in Texas just yesterday, and his bust was chased all around town by a group of MAGA people in a MAGA train. So we know that these guys are getting even harassed, whereas Trump has actual people that come to his events. It's really funny because Joe Biden called Trump supporters, the tolerant left, the tolerant Democrats, called these Trump supporters ugly folks and chumps, all while yelling at an empty parking lot. And we think it's just apropos. It's really the way it should be. An old guy with senility staring at an empty parking lot, screaming his own little egotistical head off. It's pretty funny, and it's just about right. Just about the only thing Biden did was bring people together in prison, and pretty much since 1814. My God, Joe Biden. I'm not even sure he understands the phrase of which he said it in. He literally called people ugly folks and then talked about bringing people together. I don't think the Democrat Party has any intention of bringing anyone together. This really is just classic Joe Biden. He talks about bringing people together, and 2 seconds in after saying that, he's cutting them down at the same time. It's the same classic Joe Biden move. Just hypocritical if you just hear it, let alone what he does behind everyone's back we don't know. And it's no secret that Joe Biden has his gaffes, but to have this kind of gaffes, it's unusual and it's not really good. We can tell that they're not as tolerant as they say they are. It's kind of funny how we hear that this group is so tolerant. And we here at Dang It Done, we don't believe anybody is really truly tolerant. People are tolerant, or they aren't tolerant, or they're somewhere in between. And to say that you're such perfect people, and yet you're sitting on a stage calling people ugly people. Now, in Southern society, calling somebody an ugly person doesn't necessarily mean their looks, but it's still a very derogatory thing, and it's dang near fighting words. Now, we're not going to be offended and go all crybaby angry like some liberal person would. But we will say it's kind of unfair for you to say that you're tolerant, but you go around slinging harsh words at people as if you're any better. And Biden, if you're trying to insult them by calling them and saying well, you're like Trump, they're like Trump. Yeah, there probably are. They like freedom, they like money, they like an economy that works for them, they like an economy that works for just about everyone, and you're trying to petition that homeless people get everything and rich people pretty much get taxed to death and probably will leave America. So if you want an economy to run and work for all of us, you're probably better voting off for the other guy. In our opinion, every vote for Biden is pretty much a vote for China. You're asking for more control. There's no possible way Joe Biden could control all the forces at play here. Donald Trump himself is pretty much a masterful genius with this type of thing, and he's having major issues trying to combat basically what we would call the Illuminati, the New World Order, or generally a group of usurpers that have taken over our government and done what they've wanted to with it the past 20 years. And we're seeing that at play now. They lost their power and they're angry. It's like hitting an angry yellow jacket nest. You got into it and they're going to follow you around everywhere, stinging you. But it hasn't helped anyone. It hasn't helped America. It hasn't helped him. It hasn't helped the Democrats. They wasted all of their time trying to go after Orange Man bad. So we're really going to hope that America has this general idea that the economy is more important than people's societal bullcrap. Because without economy, we can't make anything work for us. We can't have a society. And I think through all of this COVID-19 situation, we've learned that having a job is more important than worrying about any kind of sickness, any type of illness that you have to power through, because tomorrow's another day, and tomorrow's another day, and we're going to have to pay for that too. And sitting around stuck in your home is not going to be the best play that we could do. And in Joe Biden's presidency, if there were one, that's what he's going to do. That's what they're all going to do, is try to put you in home. So if you are pro-lockdown, then you probably are going to go vote for Joe Biden. However, if you're totally against this lockdown method, then you're probably going to vote for Trump. At least we'll have somebody in our back pocket to fight against political nut jobs. And if that weren't enough, we actually have another video to show you how confusing Biden is.
Look, I'll do what he's unable to do. I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure. I'll do what he's unable to do. I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure. True international effort to pressure.
We're going to leave it to an expert, but here's a video of a sign linguist. He's trying to do his best to interpret Joe Biden. And as you can imagine, this is somewhat of a classic. We think that this shows very well how his conversations across the board with leaders around the world and other people that may in fact be handicapped leaders. All of these things that Joe Biden does is just insanely crazy, and the gaffes on top of it makes it icing on the cake. Could you even imagine this guy trying to negotiate with other world leaders? They pretty much will eat him alive. We don't suspect he'd be president for long anyway. We actually believe that somehow, some way, he's going to be pushed out of the way, whether it's the 25th Amendment or he kicks the bucket for some magical, weird type Epstein reason. But we believe the play here is to get Harris in as the first female president. If he were to play it all out as the president for 4 years, we know good and well that he's going to do a really bad job of negotiating with world leaders. It's not going to go well. I can only imagine how badly he's going to handle somebody like Kim or somebody like Putin. Do we really want angry, intolerant, combative, and senile type president talking to world leaders that are ready for war? Do we really want our leaders to lead us into that by just senility alone? But the face this interpreter makes is priceless, funny. Oh my goodness. This almost makes it very believable that he is in fact unable to lead our country. The guy's face is literally screaming, yikes, this is a guy that's running for president? Like, seriously, people, come on. How old is this guy? Let him have his rest in retirement. You're just tormenting and embarrassing him. Come on, man. pretty much what his face is saying here. It's hilarious. But anyone who really does feel like voting for Dementia Joe should just not vote forever. Just don't go back to the voting booth ever again. And we're thinking the two hardest jobs in the world at this point have to be being the President of the United States and, in a close second, Joe Biden's personal interpreter. It really was the look of, I don't know, what is he talking about? As you wave your hands in the air. That was pretty funny. He was doing hand signs and he gave the signal of WTF. That kind of thing was so bad that the interpreter himself should have flipped him the bird. Should have just stuck his middle finger up and flicked him the bird. That's messed up to put your interpreter in that type of situation, man. I mean, even the yelling, the screaming in the background in this second video here, it sounds like it's fake. It sounds like it's some kind of like background recording like they do in some of these wannabe studio audience TV shows. It sounds like fake laughter. So gosh darn fake. Honestly, at this point, Joe Biden knows deep down in his heart that he's the only one that can beat Ronald Reagan this November. Anyway, folks, you have a wonderful night, a good morning, a great evening, whichever. Please like, share, and subscribe. We really do appreciate that around here. Also, leave a comment down below. We like to talk with you. We like to pick your brain. And if you have any ideas for new videos, go ahead and drop us a line down below. Also, don't forget to hit your notification bell. If you don't hit your notification bell, you might have a problem getting our videos. God bless each and every one of you. See ya.